Hey, I'm not here. Well, I'm here now, but I'm not actually here to present this Morning Pit to you. I'm at the beach this week. This is my vacation week, but I didn't want to leave you Morning Pit viewers left without any kind of content to get your day started here on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. So we got something good for you. Got a whole week of good things for you, and they're interviews. I hope you don't mind a few conversations with some members of the Pitt basketball program, some members of the Pitt basketball team, a bunch of the newcomers, and not just newcomers, but some, maybe a coach who happens to be a former Pitt player as well. We're gonna have. I'm going to get my voice to not crack like that. And we're going to have interviews all week for you here on the Morning Pit on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. I'm excited about these. They're a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy it. But we still got our theme music right here on the Morning Pit on youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com. Can't go without the theme music. We got to have the theme music, right? That's how you get your day started. Somebody said it last week in the comments that they don't drink coffee. They just get the theme music from the Morning Pit, and that's what gets them going in the morning. Anyway, I'm excited about this. These interviews are fun. These were a lot of fun to do. I enjoyed having these conversations. I think you're going to enjoy listening to them. And first up today, we've got Pitt guard transfer Damian Dunn. Dame. Goes by Dame. We could start calling him Dame because we're all cool like that. Damian Dunn comes to Pitt from Houston. He started his career at Temple. Played there for 4 years, transferred to Houston last year, took on a smaller role than he had at Temple, where he was sort of the primary scorer and primary go-to guy. Went to Houston, had a smaller role, wasn't playing as much as he had been accustomed to at Temple, and now he's coming to Pitt to be in a more prominent role, featured role. And look, I don't think anybody really knows what his role is going to be. I think a lot of it is going to get sort of settled in, turned out in the wash, or whatever that saying is, because you've got Jalen Lowe and Ishmael Leggett back, and I got to imagine both of those guys are going to start. I don't think Ishmael Leggett's trying to be the sixth man of the year 2 years in a row. And we know Jalen Lowe is here to be the starting point guard. That's going to be his role. It was his role last year. And so somewhere in there, Damian Dunn fits in. But does he fit in as a third guard when you've got guys like Zach Austin and Amsal Delalich ready to play? I messed up his name. It's Delalich. I'm really working on this. Amsal Delalich. So is there room for Damian Dunn to start three guards with a 4 and a 5? Or, do you end up rotating in and moving around and trying different lineups? I mean, I think you'll see a lot of 3-guard lineups this year. I think you'll see a lot of 3-guard lineups with Lowe, Leggett, and Dunn, in addition to Brandon Cummings, who, as you're going to hear, is getting some real positive publicity. So I was excited to talk to Damian Dunn to talk about his time at Temple, his time at Houston, what led him to Pitt, what he expects to do at Pitt, what he's looking forward to most about being at Pitt, and what's been his experience with his teammates so far in the 2 months that he's been in Pittsburgh. He's an interesting guy, 6th-year player. He's going to be a veteran leader, key contributor on the court, key leader off the court. I think Damian Dunn's going to be a big part of the team this season, and it was a lot of fun to talk to him. I enjoyed the conversation. I think you will too. New Pitt transfer guard coming from Temple to Houston to Pitt, Damian Dunn. Dame, thanks so much for taking some time today. I've been looking forward to catching up with you ever since you decided to commit as a transfer from Houston. I wanted to start a little bit before that, though, as we talked, because you transferred to Houston last year from Temple, and I think Pitt was after you last spring, right? Pitt was trying to get you. Did you get close with Pitt at that point? I mean, how far down the road did you get with Pitt as a transfer when you were leaving Temple?
Well, initially, Coach Caper reached out. He came back home to North Carolina. We came and talked. We talked basketball. We talked life, and we built a connection, immediately. And just going through the process, I think he stayed solid. He stayed down with me through everything. He was just checking in on me, just asking me how I was, how my family was, and everything. And he's a Carolina guy just like me, so he definitely knows a lot about my background, and when it just came time to make a decision, he respected it. He wished me nothing but the best of luck. And just the second time around, I think I kind of already knew that, I was going to land here, just because of just, Coach Capel reaching out again, him just coming to me, with the same interest and belief in me to come in and make an impact. So it was definitely influential.
You talk about him being a Carolina guy, you being a Carolina guy. Like, like I've heard Jeff Capel talk about that kind of thing before when he talks about other coaches. Or, oh, he knows so and so from this town, and that it. I mean, North Carolina is a state, right? But like,
Yeah.
is there something of a basketball community in the state that like Carolina guys are Carolina guys?
Definitely, we call it the hoop state. People don't like when we call it the hoop state, but we claim it as the hoop state, and really like it's kind of like we all fall under that one umbrella, just like home. Like Zach's from Carolina. Every time we talk about back home, we talk in unit, like we're both talking, like we're from the same exact city. But it's just our background, where we come from, and just knowing that that's home for us. So yeah.
I'm trying to think where else would make a claim as hoop state. Probably like Indiana would think they're hoop state, right? Like that's a big one. Like the state of New York, would they try and claim it
Maybe.
just because of New York City?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
No,
but that's not fair. It's
we the
not.
real hoop state though. We the
Yeah,
real hoop state. Yes,
like New
sir.
York shouldn't count, right? Because it's not like
No doubt.
Buffalo is like a hotbed of you know what I mean? Like Albany. It's not like,
No
oh, all
doubt.
the hoopers that come out of Albany. It's New York City. It doesn't even count as a state. So you feel like Carolina, North Carolina, that's the hoop state,
Without a
huh?
doubt.
That's the one. All right.
Without a doubt.
Nice. Sounds good. I always ask guys when they transfer, if it's sort of different from if it's like they're going through the recruiting process a second time, and if they have sort of a new perspective. Now you've gone through the transfer portal a second time. How was your approach, or was your approach different this spring from last spring? Did you have different goals? Did you have different things you were looking for, or did you kind of approach it the same way as you did a year ago?
Definitely learned a lot just from making, the initial decision, and I think just my year just taught me that, I have to prioritize, me, and kind of be selfish in a way, and just making sure I'm making the best decision for me, and at the same time, I think the biggest thing for me was opportunity, and freedom, and just, a home environment, and we've been together for maybe 2 full months almost, and we're super tight. We almost feel like brothers to an extent, and we all hang out together after practice. We're always hanging around each other on the weekends, playing the games after practice in the locker room. Like we eat together every day. So we're just stepping into a brotherhood that that's welcoming, and in a space where I also have an opportunity, to showcase my talents from all three levels, and just my versatility. So just making a decision this second time around, I kind of already knew what I wanted to prioritize. And, it just came to just making sure that, whatever I land, they fit the description. And, Pitt was the perfect place.
Right. I like obviously, your role changed from Temple to Houston. Did that kind of influence? I mean, what you're talking about when you're talking about looking at opportunity, looking for role, did you kind of end up in maybe a smaller role at Houston than you were hoping for when you made that move?
Yeah. I would say, it's just kind of just, it shifted, just like through the year, and just like, just me kind of fitting in with the team that we had, and those are still my dudes to this day. But it just like over time, it just I had to, at times sit back, learn, absorb, watch, and just kind of wait my turn, and just coming down to the end of the season, I just knew it was time for me to just kind of move on, and just step into something bigger, where with a little bit more opportunity. So
Sure. What as you started talking to Jeff Capel this time around, and as you've been around the team, what kind of role did he tell you they needed you to fill at Pitt, and what kind of role do you see yourself sort of fitting into with the team on the court?
just talking to Coach Cape about it, just coming in, for one, being a leader, with me being one of the more experienced guys, on our team, one of the older guys as well. He expects me to lead by example, and lead with my energy and my voice every day. And I try to set the table with that from day one, and try to carry that, throughout my energy every single day in practice, with just being vocal, talking to guys, talking guys up, and just getting guys, just play hard and do stuff like that, and secondly, I would just just say that showing my versatility as a playmaker, as a scorer, as a spot up guy, as a defender, whatever really is necessary at the moment, for me to kind of fill in and, be effective to help winning, I'm willing to do, and Coach Cape just presented me an opportunity to come in with, a lot of space, um, a big opportunity to play with, some seasoned guys now, guys who are in their second year of college, but they don't play like it, and I think this was the right fit for me with just coming in and fitting in, helping us win,
Right. It's interesting. Like 2 years ago, Pitt really had a big turnaround, and a lot of the players and coaches talked about the culture in the locker room, and so everybody was interested to see how that would carry over from 2 years ago to last season. And I think some of the guys who who were still on the team, helped build that and carry it over. What have you experienced in the couple months that you've been in Pittsburgh and been around Pitt and around the team, as far as the culture and what's been carried over by guys like Jalen and Ish and Zach, like you mentioned, the twins and all of that? I mean, what's been your experience of the culture? What have you seen out of those guys in the locker room?
I would say consistency. Just coming in every day with the right attitude, with the right mindset towards willing just willing to put in work every day, not second guessing the work that's ahead of us, just pouring everything that you have into the workout or film session, the lift, whether we're playing 3-on-3 or pickup, everybody's going hard, everybody wants to get better. We're pushing each other, but at the same time, we're brothers at the end of it all, and I think everybody understands that, and the next piece I think for us is just meshing everything together, getting guys to play together, knowing strengths and weaknesses, and just helping each other out to win. But it's definitely been a camaraderie early on, and I feel like we can build off of, potentially do something special with.
How much, as you guys have been, as you've been working out and playing pickup with the guys and doing whatever, I'm sure you guys are playing a lot of basketball together right now. How's that chemistry developing specifically with Jalen? And what have you noticed about him? You mentioned second year guy doesn't really play like a second year guy.
Yeah.
What's really stood out to you as you've been playing with him a bit?
For one, I would say, just his how he works. He comes in early morning sometimes, just does his own skill work. I can tell that he has his own routine where he likes to come in, do some sharpening up, with his skills before we lift. He's the same dude every day. He brings the same attitude every day. He's willing to work, he's willing to, he's taking more pride in being a leader, and I think just watching him work every day, it influenced us, all of us, to kind of, follow behind him, but at the same time, get better from him as well, and we all learn from each other, not just from one guy, and the ultimate is to win here, and I think as long as everyone is working and putting in their best effort every day, I think we can.
When you like came on a visit here, got to know the players a little bit, was he a big part of the recruiting? You know what I mean? Was he trying to like sell you on Pitt, Jalen specifically?
I wouldn't say he tried to sell me, but he's from around the Houston area, and me transferring from Houston, I knew played with a few guys who played with him, in AAU, just having good dialogue with them about, who he is, what type of player he is, what type of person he is, it's just sounded like someone that I could, play alongside with, and me coming and, seeing everybody's energy, getting to meet everybody, seeing how welcoming everybody was, I just felt like I could insert myself immediately, and connect.
You yeah, when people have talked about you, when you first decided to transfer to Pitt, and they, I think Jeff Cable said this, and we've said it. A bunch of people have said like, "Oh, well, he played at Houston, so he knows how to defend. The defense has been stressed." Is that pretty accurate? Is it pretty much a non-starter there? You have to defend, or else you're not going to get on the court.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Definitely a non-negotiable. Like, if you can't guard the ball, it's probably no space and opportunity for you to be on the floor. And that's primary. I fixed my mindset probably this past year, just to, just taking that even more personal than I had before. And just stepping into a role. And, previously, at the last school I was at, that was big there. And that was mandatory. That was mandated every day to bring your best foot forward every day on defense, and not let your man win. Just to win first dribbles, cut people off, make second efforts, contests and everything, just playing hard and giving 110% effort. So for me, I'm just trying to carry that forward with me through my transition here. Hopefully guys can absorb from that and learn from that as well. So, I'm just doing my best to put my best foot forward on defense, and challenge myself.
Well, who have you been challenging? Are you matching up with Jalen? You trying to take on Ish? I mean, like you
we
got,
uh we
you
we
know,
challenge we challenge each other. It's not really just one. It could be anyone, me and Low or me and Biba and Ish and me, Ish and J Lo. Like we're all interchangeable in terms of just like matchups and us seeing each other in practice, and going at each other. We understand that, we're making each other better and we're sharpening, our tools together at the same time. But end of the day, after it's all said and done, we're gonna be brothers through anything. So it's definitely been good work that we've been putting in, since I've been here. We just gotta keep carrying it forward.
so have you had a moment against one of those guys though, like a Shaq? I wasn't familiar with your game moment where you're like, you guys are playing. You're like, whoa, you just did that. You just did that to me. I did not know you could do that. Like, I mean, I'm thinking of like Jalen or maybe like you mentioned
Yeah,
Brandon Cummings, a freshman. Like, have you
yeah.
had a moment like that with those guys? Like, oh,
Nah,
okay,
nah, not.
yeah.
I haven't had a moment because I did my research. I watched my film on all of them
Oh yeah.
before I even came here, so I kind of already knew what everybody kind of brought to the table. So, but I can tell that everybody's just so predicated to getting better every day, and it's showing, man. Like results are on the way for us, I think. And I think we're just super optimistic and just ready to get ready to mesh together and win.
Well, you mentioned Biba Cummings. I mean, what did your research tell you about him, and what's been your experience playing with him, playing against him so
He's a
far?
he's an ultimate competitor. Like Beaver's one that, every day, like he learns, and I think he's more of a visual learner. And, once he grasps things, he processes it pretty quickly, and he's willing to compete against anybody. Like Beaver will go toe to toe with Cam if he had to every day, all day during practice. Like, I respect that about him, with his age, him this being his first true year of college. He has a competitive spirit about him, and I think it'll take him a very long way in this game. I think, I just take pride in, me kind of setting the table for him to kind of learn some things from me, as I proceed with my journey myself. I just feel to do my best to kind of, just bring him along the ropes, and kind of show him, just how I work every day. So.
I mean, you've been in a bunch of different backcourts. You've seen different backcourt sort of configurations, different types of players working together. Do you see a lot of like sort of versatility in what can happen with like you, him, Jalen, and Ish, and the different ways the coaches can mix and match you guys? Whether there's two on the court, three on the court, which two there is, which three there is, four guards. You know what I mean? Like, do you see a lot of sort of exciting like potential and versatility with just the different skill sets?
Definitely. And we do a lot of mixing and matching, just kind of so everyone can get a feel for each other. So we're kind of just not walking out there blindly, and but at the same token, I think we all bring different things to the table that, we pick up someone where someone lacks, or we just complement each other perfectly, or I think we all complement each other in our own unique ways. Now it's just a matter of just putting it together, us feeding off each other's energy, and just hopefully, us just exploding all together at one time. So
And then the last thing I wanted to ask you, Dame. I mean, obviously, like we talked before, this is your final year of eligibility, right? This is the last
yes,
year
sir.
of college basketball for you. If you're going to transfer before your final year of eligibility, you're not going to go somewhere where you expect to lose, right? Like you
Right.
want to look for somewhere. So what convinced you that this was the place where you can have a lot of success? I mean, like you coming from a program where you had a lot of success, but
Yeah.
coming to a program where you believe you can have a lot of success, and where are your goals for this last year, and why do you believe you can accomplish them here?
I chose to come here, just not just simply our vision and things that I think that Coach Kate wanted. I based my decision to come here off of things that that he's predicated his time to working towards every day. And he's a worksman himself. And I think he does a lot of behind the scenes work to just get doing his best to make guys better every day. the vision that our coaches have for us, our guards, our wings, our bigs, they're so predicated to, just helping us get better every day. And, I just think that with me coming here, and having a chance for me to, display like, how serious I am about my work, and just pouring into that every day and having, coaches who believe in that. They believe in my work, my effort, my energy, and they see me potentially doing big things for this program. I just felt that I could help us win at the ultimate level, and I think with the pieces that we have, I think definitely going to, shock a lot of people because, we're flying under the radar right now. We get our work in, we go, and, I just don't, I think everybody's so level headed in terms of work and getting better, and at the end of the day, I think we're going to turn a lot of heads when it's all said and done. But, we're just flying low right now, just working, doing our best to get better every day. And we just let the results be the results.
All right, thanks to Damian Dunn for joining us. That was a lot of fun, interesting conversation. I hope you enjoyed that as well. I'm sure you did. I thought his comments about Brandon Cummings, about Jalen Lowe, just about what he's experienced with this team so far, it's pretty interesting and pretty telling. I thought he had a lot of good stuff to say, a lot of interesting stuff to say, and yeah, I like talking to him, and I hope you enjoyed that conversation as well. So thanks to Damien for hanging out with us. Like I said, we're going to have these conversations all week long. We're going to have these interviews, and I enjoyed them. I recorded them last week before I left for vacation this week. And so I enjoyed doing the interviews. I like talking to these guys. I think there's some interesting guys, and I think you're going to enjoy it as well. So if you enjoyed that interview with Damian Dunn, like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share it with a friend. Be like, hey, man, you're a big Pitt basketball fan. Check out what this guard had to say. Damian Dunn, the transfer who came in from Houston. And share the link, youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com, and then go talk about it with other Pitt fans on the website at Panther-Lair.com, Pittsburgh.rivals.com, the most comprehensive source of Pitt sports news on the internet. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I think it's Monday. I don't know. I'm on beach time, baby. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoy your Monday, and we will catch up with you tomorrow on the Morning Pitt. Oh, one more. You probably already turned it off, but if you didn't, one thing you got to understand, like I said, we taped all these videos in advance, taped all these interviews, got all these videos ready to go. If there's major breaking news, I can't promise we're going to have a Morning Pitt episode talking about it this week. I don't think I'm firing up the laptop and the YouTube machine to do a live stream or a Morning Pitt episode from the beach. I might. And I mean, you guys know how it goes when we get the whiskey out at the post-game shows. It'll be like that. So maybe we will do it. But if there's breaking news, don't be like, what the heck, man? This player just did this or this kid just committed. Why are you, interviewing Damian Dunn? Well, because this is the plan for the week. All right. So unless it's extreme, you're going to get some basketball interviews this week, and we'll get back to the news next week. But I think you'll enjoy these. So hopefully you check them out and stay tuned. But thanks for watching. Have a great Monday. We'll catch up with you tomorrow on the Morning Pit right here, youtube.com/Panther-Lair.com.